him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack 'em a gub! It's time for the only news that matters. And former Vangina vocalist Sammy Hagar, First, Sammy Hagar Belcher will never be the former frontman of Vangina. He will always be the frontman of Vangina. Anyway, while it's extremely difficult to name the biggest beef and drama in rock music history, former Van Halen members certainly are up there amongst the top choices. Sammy Hagar Belcher joined the band. He formed the band in 1985 after Dave left, and this new lineup scored some great success. Over the years, the tension between the two vocalists only grew, although that's something you'd expect from rock singers who sang in the same band. We can only imagine what that heavyweight champs of rock and roll tour in 2002 was like. However, I know what it was like. I went. West Palm Beach, and Daily Roth destroyed Sammy Belcher, who was up there trying so hard. Oh, let's put a bar on stage. Let's put people on stage. Let's do everything to top Dave. It was so try hard. And of course, I don't like the music. I'm sure a lot of people went to that show that liked Sammy Belcher and thought Sammy was better. I don't. I think Dave was better, and Dave only did Van Halen shit and destroyed him. No contest. And thank God Dave headlined that night, because I would have left. I would have left and I wouldn't have missed shit. Anyway, however, in a recent comment shared via his official Instagram profile, Sammy Hagar Belcher shared nothing but kind words about Roth in his decision to keep performing. Reflecting on the matter, Hagar said, "If I may add my 2 cents here," how decent of Belcher. "Comparing us today or comparing us in the old days really is not what it's all about. It's all about Van Halen and my band, Vangina. One of the greatest bands, some of the greatest songs in rock history. We were both involved and both had pluses and minuses." Getting further into it, Sammy compared David's current endeavor to himself as ex-Van Halen bassist Michael Anthony doing the Best of Both Worlds tour with Joe Satriani and Kenny Aronoff. Was with Jason Bonham, but Sammy Belcher fired him. You know how Van Halen fired Michael Anthony and he was all pissed off. "Fuck you, Eddie Van Halen. They fucked over Michael." Oh, you fucked over Jason, you prick. Anyway, I am happy that Dave is out there doing it like Mikey and I, supporting some of the greatest rock songs in history. Like I said, the fans deserve it, good or bad. I believe we're both doing our best, and I'm actually happy David is supporting his era, and I will support mine as well as my solo career and side projects for the rest of my life. Everyone should enjoy what we're both trying to do. No, I'll just enjoy Dave. By the way, I got my ticket to see David Lee Roth at the Hollywood Hard Rock, and I can't wait. Anyway, Sammy keeps yapping, keeping the music alive, and his legacy is important. And so is the music both Dave and I wrote with Eddie. See, he can't just he has to throw himself in there. And remember me, I was in Van Halen. Somewhat unexpected positivity aside, David's recent return to stage with a show taking place on May 3rd at the Merriweather Post Pavilion in Columbia, Maryland. And he was awesome, I thought. All right. You expect me to bash on Hagar because, I'm going to bash on Hagar no matter what. But no, not this time. This time I'm not. I mean, he's saying something nice. Sure, it's fabricated on his part. Sure, he's very jealous of David Lee Roth as far as music goes. He just covers it up saying, well, I sold $1 quadrillion in vodka, so therefore I'm better, you know. But hey, no, I'm not bashing him. I'm going to be nice, you know, because Sammy Hagar just came out and said the fans deserve it, you know. And, you know, I mean, for Sammy to say we're both out there representing Van Halen, then I guess you got to give more credit to David Lee Roth. All right, Sammy? Since all he's doing is Van Halen stuff. There's people out there complaining, hey, man, why ain't he playing Yankee Rose, this and that? I don't hear anybody complaining saying, hey, man, why ain't he playing I Can't Drive 55? But he thinks people will think that. That's why he throws in his crappy solo songs with the Vangina songs, where Dave just goes out there and does nothing but Van Halen. I would like to see David Lee Roth do nothing but Van Halen. Yankee Rose a little too challenging for him. That'll sound horrible. A dead frog will come out on that tune. But, you know, I love his solo career. Don't get it twisted. Let's cut the deck. But Van Halen with David Lee Roth cannot be touched. Not even the David Lee Roth solo career, in my opinion. And, of course, you know, Sammy Belcher and Montrose and Chickenfoot and whatever the hell have you. No, nothing like the six-pack of Van Halen. And, you know, but I do commend Sammy for saying something nice about David Lee Roth. You know, like the time that he was on Howard Stern and he said, I got no problem with David Lee Roth. I don't know why he don't like me. I got no problem with him. And then in a later interview, he's talking about how lame David Lee Roth is and I can't be like him and his voice sucks and blah, blah, blah. After he said that, and Dave didn't say anything in between the Howard Stern show and what other interview he was bashing him. But that's besides the point, because now we know Sammy Hagar's a good guy. He'll never say nothing bad about David Lee Roth again. Just like, you know, he promised when Eddie died, before Eddie died, I don't want to go to my grave, you know, having these enemies. And, you know, then you have Alex Van Halen who ain't saying shit. And that's what pisses Sammy off, is that Alex ain't saying shit. As in, he's not mentioning the Vangina years in his book and really doesn't talk about them in interviews. They try to make him talk, but he doesn't. And that pisses Sammy off so much. But I know now, Sammy has turned a new leaf. Since he said something nice about Dave, everything he says in the future now will be positive toward Dave, toward Alex. Well, he's forced to be nice about Eddie now, if Eddie was still alive. But hey, that's besides the point. Sammy now is a nice guy. I'm telling you, man. For him to say that, I'm going to call it right now. In the next Sammy Hagar Belcher interview, he's going to do an interview where he's going to explain how David Lee Roth with Van Halen sold double than what Vangina did, which is a fact, and it is the truth. And yeah, I just know Sammy's just going to come out and say it. Hey, man, Vangina, we had #1 albums, we did great, but hey, we only sold as half as much as the six-pack, the Diamond Dave years. And then he's going to talk about how he loves One Foot Out the Door. It's one of his favorites, you know. He's going to talk about, you know, how awesome Dave's voice was back on the six-pack, the organic nature, the killer screams, and how he's a way better frontman than him. And I'm sure Sammy will talk about his goofy clothes that he wore and his poofy, stupid hair and stuff like that. He'll bring it all out. He'll come out and say, hey, everybody, look, here's the deal. David Lee Roth rules, and I suck. I suck. You know? That's what he's going to do. Because Sammy now is a nice, honest man, and he will never say anything bad about David Lee Roth, Alex Van Halen, and your mama. But, hey, let's see if he proves me wrong. I doubt he will. He's a nice guy now. Right, everybody? Is that what you all think? Leave it in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching the only news that matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell, and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.